Meghan Markle has been rejected by her Suits co-stars yet again to appear on her new podcast with Lemonada, as apparently they're pretty resentful. Hey up everyone, it's me, Stef The Alter Nerd, your nerdy alternative, and welcome to another dose of the Daily Nerd, where I break down the royal news and gossip of the day that's pretty much caught my eye. And oh my goodness, yeah, let's jump into this madness, shall we? Because reports are coming through that Megxie is getting desperate to try and secure guests for her new podcast with Lemonada. So much so that all the A-listers are like, hell no. So yeah, she's having to go back in time apparently to her Suits co-stars, begging for them to appear on a new podcast, but guess what? They're snubbing her even more. They are rejecting her yet again. According to insiders, many of her former Suits co-stars are far from impressed, as they feel that up until now, Meghan has wanted nothing to do for them, saying, quote, "It's all very well for Meghan to expect support when she needs it, and obviously she's desperate for this podcast to be a success." She needs it to be a success, guys. But a lot of people think she's got a real cheek to be asking for any sort of help from her old co-stars. After all, she refused to take part in their recent reunion and has shown no interest in staying in touch with the majority of them. She wouldn't even join their WhatsApp group. And as we all know from the Golden Globes earlier on this year, the Suits co-stars that appeared turned around and says, yeah, we couldn't contact Megxie because we don't have her number. She's not part of the WhatsApp group. She's completely ghosted us. Yeah, Megxie's getting desperate if she's having to turn back to her Suits co-stars to appear on a new podcast. That is for certain. The source also says Meghan doesn't ever put Suits down, but she's certainly distanced herself from most of the cast and from the show. It's pretty insulting. And the feeling is that she ought to be a lot more loyal to her roots. I would certainly agree with that, right? The show is what made her famous. It's safe to say she'd never have met Harry without the success she had from Suits. Agreed. To a certain extent. We've also got Soho House as well, but that's another story for another time, guys. So it just strikes a lot of people as a bit ungrateful that she seemed to want to get as far away from it as possible the moment she married him. So for her to come with a cap in hand, asking for them to appear on a podcast and help promote her products is pretty tone deaf, to say the least. She's going to need to explain herself and do some serious damage control if she's ever going to have any chance of wooing them back to her side, because there are a lot of hurt feelings. Yeah. It sounds like that in terms of the strawberry jam that she sent out a couple of months back, apparently there were 50 that she sent out. According to this source, and this is my interpretation of it, she sent a few jars of jam, it seems like, to her Suits co-stars. Not that many of them really promoted that jam then, if they got it, did they? Says a lot, right? Silence says a lot. But now it's thought that at this point, after her podcast was absolutely cancelled and destroyed by Spotify and being labelled as an effing grifter by one of the executives, it's thought that Megxie's hoping to now come back with a bang, lining up a host of stellar guests for the new podcast with now Lemonada. Celebrity PR specialist Kaylee Keneally has revealed, quote, "Initially, we might expect to call in favours from her remaining friends and work through her networks. For instance, long-term friend Priyanka Chopra, who did not feature on Archetypes, I wonder why, could be among the first names Megxie considers. But if Priyanka Chopra didn't appear on Archetypes the first time around, and you can bet your bottom dollar she asked, as far as I'm concerned, what makes her think that Priyanka Chopra is going to appear on her second podcast on a platform that's lesser than Spotify? Lemonada. I didn't even know the existence of Lemonada until Megxie signed with them. Come on, Priyanka Chopra is better than that as far as I'm concerned. Other potential guests could include friends from her Suits days, such as Abigail Spencer and Wendell Pierce, who likely remain accessible points of contact for Megxie. We do know that Abigail Spencer was one of the Suits cast that did get that jar of jam, and she did promote it on her Instagram. And we also know that Wendell Pierce seems to have still warm feelings towards Megxie, as per his more recent comments towards her, saying, she's very much in love with Hazard. They've got a wonderful marriage, blah, 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 right? Now, Meg's former friend, Lizzie Cundy, has also claimed that she's relying on her old cast members, saying, I hear she's ghosted a lot of them as she doesn't want to know them. When she met Harry, she ghosted a lot of them. And she ghosted a lot of other people, apart from her Suits co-stars as well. And now she's got to go back with her cap in hand saying, will you come on this podcast? Are they going to want to do it? I don't think so. Several stars are believed to have maintained a positive relationship with Megsy, some attending her wedding, but that was years ago. And now at this point, it does seem like relations have soured between Megsy and the majority of her former Suits co-stars. And so, following the interview with Oprah Winfrey in 2021, Patrick J. Adams did say at the time, Meghan Markle and I spent the better part of a decade working together on Suits. From day one, she was an enthusiastic, kind, cooperative, giving, joyful and supportive member of our TV family. She remained that person and colleague as fame, prestige and power accrued. She's always been a powerful woman with a deep sense of morality and a fierce work ethic, and has never been afraid to speak up, be heard and defend herself and those she holds dear. Like the rest of the world, I've watched her navigate the last few years in astonishment. But this was like 3-4 years ago. Since then, we've not heard anything, as far as I'm concerned, where Patrick J. Adams has absolutely defended Megsy. I wonder why, guys. I wonder why. Earlier this year, Patrick, along with another Suits co-star, Gabriel Macht, who played Harvey Spencer, admitted that they hadn't been in contact with Megsy following the Suits' recent streaming success, saying, I've not communicated with her other than seeing her big support for the resurgence, and that has been really nice. Whilst Patrick added, zero no communication. And then you got Gina Torres, who played Jessica Pearson, revealing that they don't even have her number. Now, the source continues saying they all still talk regularly. And of course, they're aware of the buzz about her now wanting them to appear on a podcast. She still has some supporters in the group, but apparently the majority of the cast is pretty turned off by how she's treated them and not ready to just jump to her command. Some of them may give her a dose of her own medicine and totally ignore her, or just not have any interest and even tell her to get lost. Most of them agree she needs to learn some humility, oh hell yeah, and remember where she came from and not just expect help when it benefits her. All they've done is say wonderful things about her and cheer her on. When they were shooting the show, it really became their own little family. So to have her just drop them was pretty heartbreaking. But again, it seems like Megsy does have a pattern of this, right? And now with the show's popularity sky high again, there are a lot of people that would love to see it come back. And Meghan could easily make that happen. But Meghan's made it clear she's got zero interest, which is disappointing. And whether it's justified or not has left many of them feeling pretty resentful. So this is the thing, right? A lot of them want Suits to come back, it seems like, in its original kind of situation, right? Megsy, her support, would catapult it to getting it back even quicker, even better, even faster, right? But Megsy has shown zero interest in wanting to go back to Suits and revive it and revive her old character Rachel Zane. Yet, reportedly, she wants her Suits co-stars to appear on a new podcast. It's like she wants it all, but she's not willing to give anything back. And they're pretty resentful against her. I'm not freaking surprised. With that being said, if you appreciated this video and you want more, believe me, of course, there's going to be more, then make sure you subscribe to join our Alter Nerd tribe, because I'll be honest with you, help us now get to 1 million so we can also get that go play button right there and hopefully cause a Meghan Markle meltdown on Instagram. Like, share, comment down below your opinion, conspiracy theories, whatever's. Also as well, if you've got some very strong opinions about Megsy being rejected yet again by a Suits co-stars to appear on a podcast reportedly, and I bet you do, then make sure you send me a super thanks. It's just below this video right here. We can have a conversation about this because it does guarantee a response from me. And until the next time, you guys, laters.